Hi there everybody, it's Ashley and I'm back with you in the Paper Sweet studio. I know a lot of you have been asking about my studio and I didn't really have intentions of sharing it, but I do have these little cubbies in here and they're from Home Decorators. That's the company name, and it's Martha Stewart Craft Furniture. So just to get that out there, I know people were wondering. I don't think I'm going to be doing a tour or anything, but never say never, right? But I will say that today I'm going to be sharing a video for Paper Train's Showcase Saturday Showcase feature, and I'm going to be sharing a video showcasing seasonal borders spring stamp set and the die collection, of course, with the stencil. And I'm going to be making this card here. So let's take a look. Alright, so here's my card that I'm going to be sharing with you today. I thought this was a really cool way to use seasonal border spring, just to show you can use some of the individual flowers here and the leaves just to adorn a corner or a frame, or you can use one of the smaller cluster as opposed to the long frame. So I thought it was good to point that out. I know with seasonal borders, a lot of people are used to doing the actual border part, which would be like something like this, the full border stamped. But you don't have to do that. You can use some of the individual elements, and I just wanted to feature that today. And I'll also be showing a little bit about how stamping just different colors with the embossing powder and then using a unique type of frame here. So let's get started. Let me see. First I want to start with is stamping, of course. So I already have here, already die cut some of the seasonal border dies. Here are some of the dies. That is the medium size flower. Here's the cluster here, and this is the one that's grouped with the small flowers here, and I'm also be using this die here, which is the leaves. Alright, so here's the stamp set here. So you can see, let me zoom back out a little bit. So here's Seasonal Borders Spring Stamp Set. And so you get a variety of different types of flowers, and this is a multi-step stamp set, so a lot of them build on top of each other, and I'll show that in the video. And these are the coordinating dies, and the coordinating dies are sold separately, but with the stamp set you get the stencil here, and it basically helps you to stamp that border. It's a guide. Alright, there is a video that already exists that Betsy Veldman already put up on our YouTube channel, and you can definitely see this for a step-by-step tutorial on how to use the Seasonal Border Stamp Series. Alright, so to get started, I'm going to start off with one of the clusters. I'm only going to be doing one cluster, one grouping here, and one medium flower, and then a couple of the leaves. So I'm just going to push those out so I can use those. I'm going to start with the leaves. That's just what I want to start with. If I can find my stamp block. Here it is. And I'm going to be using Limeade Ice for the ink color. For my leaves. And what I like to do is I already have one stamp that I keep in my little pouch here, and I like to use this as my guide. So I look at it and refer to it when I'm stamping so I can see, okay, my leaf stamp needs to be positioned which way. And I can do that simply by just going over a stamped image as a way to know what I need to do. So I'll position my die cut the same way that my stamped image is already done, so I can have the guide ready to go. So that's my way of doing it. You can also use the stencil. I told you the stencil tutorial is already on YouTube, but this is just my way of doing this, and it works for me. I'll just show you. Alright, so now that I have my leaf stamp, I'm going to next go to my next step that I want to do are the groupings of the flowers. I'm going to put my Limeade Ice away for now. Alright, I'm going to use Harvest Gold to stamp my flowers. And again, I'll say, oh, which way do I want this to go? And I'm using my little template here as a guide, and I'll look over here and say, okay, that's where I want it to go. You can use a stamp positioner if you like. That definitely will work, and it definitely would help. But I want to do this as quickly as possible for the video and to demonstrate how easy it is. Always try to get overhead over your stamped image so you can see where you're stamping. And I'm going to stamp that again, and a lot of people say, oh no, stamping it again twice without a stamp positioner. Yeah, it could be a little bit tricky. But with the lighter colors, it's not too bad. It's yellow. Alright, so I forgot I'm supposed to be doing this one too. So while I have my yellow out, before I put the stamp away, I am going to stamp the smaller cluster too, because I want 2 of these to be yellow. The both of them. And I'm going to stamp it twice again, I told you, because I want that true yellow hue. Alright, so that's done. And now I can put my Harvest Gold ink away and put this stamp away. Next up, I'm going to stamp the berries. Alright, so the berries to me are the most challenging stamp on this cluster for me. But might not be for you. So I know I want them there, and I know I want them stamped in Hawaiian, Aqua Mist. So I'm going to go ahead and ink it up. And then I'm position this up here, right where it goes up against the Harvest Gold. Right up against the Harvest Gold flowers. And not too bad that time. If I wanted to get exactly perfect, I would probably use a stamp positioner for that one. And that's my own personal stamping skills. Because I am not perfect by any means when it comes to stamping. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So if I stamped with this particular stamp set every day, I'm sure I would get a lot more comfortable with stamping those berry clusters. So I'm going to stamp these little tulip buds in a Sweet Blush. And now I'm ready to do all of my detail stamping. So I'll start with the flower centers. If I can find my block, here it is. Sweet Blush can go away. I'm going to pull out Summer Sunrise to do the little bit of a detail here. Alright, so this is the larger size. Just going to stamp it there, and I'm going to do this one as well. Next up, I'm going to do the detail on the berries. Figure out where my acrylic block, which angle it should be on, and then I get to going. Line it up here, position it right over those, and stamp down. I stamped that in Hawaiian Shores ink. Alright, and my last step for this one will be the tulips, flowers. I'm going to do a pure poppy over top because I want a bright red. And there you go. That one's done. I need to stamp one more flower, and that's the medium-sized flower. Swap that out. figure out where I need to position my stamp first, so I just kind of rotate it around until I get it figured out. And it looks like it's that way. One more time for that nice true harvest gold color that I'm going for. I'm just going to do the center. I'm not doing the, there is one more step I can do on a flower here. I'm going to skip it. This is the extra detail. I might do it for the sake of this video so you guys can see it. Alright, and the last thing that I need to stamp are my leaves. So I'm going to take my Limeade ice out again. Pull out my leaf die cuts. Stamp it. And stamp it. Alright, the first thing that I like to do is to take a dryer sheet. This is a dryer sheet. And it just basically makes it so. It puts that chemical on there so it's static clean. Kind of makes it so that the embossing powder doesn't stick to it. So that's why I do that. I'm going to use my stamp positioner really quickly to stamp this sentiment right in the middle. This sentiment is from Initial Sentiments Birthday. It's kind of cool and unique type of stamp set where they take the initials of Happy Birthday, HP, and then you incorporate the full word Happy Birthday with them or not, depending on the actual stamp. And there are a couple of sides to the stamp set here. And it's really cool, even if you're just using the stamp set for all the different Happy Birthday variations that you can get in different fonts. I like that as well. So I'm going to take some Versamark watermark stamp pad and get my HB stamp nice and juicy with the watermark ink. Okay, and I'm going to stamp it a couple of times. I have some scrap paper here I'm going to be using when I'm going to be applying my embossing powder. I'm going to start with yellow. I'm just using this Zing embossing powder here. I'm going to start with the yellow at the top. And I'm just going to put it at the top. And then when I wipe it off, I'm going to go this way. This direction. Scoop it out. Overlap a little bit. And again, go this way. So I'm going to get a little bit of red. And do the same thing. Next I'm getting a bright blue. And let's see, my next color is a light blue. Just going to be on the bottom. Lavender. And this time I can finally go this way. Alright, so now we're ready to heat emboss with our heat tool. So I'm just going to align this stamp here right in the middle where there's that open spot. So now I line that up here. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. And there it is, a little rainbow action. I wanted to show you that I'm using this particular die here for the frame. This comes from this particular stamp set, Celtic Knox, right here. So I just die cut this from white cardstock, and I'm just going to add some foam adhesive to the back side. I'm going to add that right to the middle there. Add some foam dots to the back. Add one to one corner here. And since this wasn't the most even thing, I'm just going to take my trimmer and trim off a little bit. See if I can get that even. A little bit more. Nice and even now. I'm going to take this one and this one. Put this one here in the corner. I'm going to take a little foam dot and put it on this side. Add it here, and the last thing I'm going to do is add the leaves. Add one here, and one here. Done. So I have a couple of different, and I like because it's like kind of Hawaiian type of feel to it, so I think it's really cool. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Saturday Showcase video featuring Seasonal Borders Spring, where I show you a little bit how to break up some of the clusters and use them to adorn the corners of frames, any type of frame die cut you might have. And have fun with it and create kind of unique type of looks, even if it's not for that particular season. Spring, maybe summer, it's still pretty. So I hope you get a chance to pull out your seasonal border collections and have fun stamping with them as well. Until next week, I'll see you soon. Bye. Thanks for watching.